episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of everything to do with Disney travel in style. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bellabraddock.
And I'm Amelia Bellabraddock. And today, how to pick the perfect sized t-shirt, sweatshirt, or hoodie.
Yes, when you're shopping on our site, we want to make sure you pick the perfect size. You know, when you're shopping online, you can't try things on, obviously. Some sites have those virtual change rooms.
Those are my favorite things. They're so funny.
They're funny. Do you like them?
Would I say they're the most useful thing in the world? No. Do I think they're a fun time? Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing, and what we're going to get into in this episode is just talking about how we want to be sure that you pick, or as close as possible for online shopping, picking the exact right size of t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, or really anything that we sell. But we're focusing on the tops since that's the majority of things people buy. But the thing about those virtual change rooms is that I think they're good to sort of see what something looks like on you. But when it comes to the fine tuning of a size, you're not really going to get that as accurately as what we do and what we're going to talk about here today. So if you haven't taken the time to pay attention, we're just going to tell you what to do.
Well, I mean, it also depends because it's different size guides say different things. Like it could be the clothing size guide or it could be the person size guide.
Exactly.
And that's drastically different.
So we're going to throw all that stuff out the window. And that's what we do here in the shop at 1923mainstreet.com. There are really two ways that we want to talk about today that we help to ensure that you pick the size of top or swimwear or anything else that is exactly close to what you want. I say exactly close because I'll talk about one thing first, is that manufacturers of blanks. So we and most graphic t-shirt companies or sweatshirt companies or even brand name clothing companies that you know don't actually stitch the shirts together themselves, right? There are a number of manufacturers who make blanks. It's sort of like, I don't know, a blank pizza and you make your own pizza on it.
Yeah, like a pizza shell.
Like a pizza shell. So our pizza shells and those used by many others come from a lot of major manufacturers, and that's what they do. They create the blanks for people. However, even those manufacturers, because this is not a concrete mold, we're talking about material, they can themselves vary. So we note in our size guides, the sizes can themselves vary, sometimes up to an inch or even 2 inches in some manufacturers. So you want to be aware of that. We don't find that to be a huge problem, but they do put it in there as sort of the disclaimer. So we also put it in there so you can just be aware of that, because sometimes you're going to be right on the cusp of, should I go medium? Should I go large? And so that can help push you one way or another if you're really that close.
Yeah, well, it also depends what the shirt's made out of.
Exactly, right. And those are reflected too, because you're right. Some things like a heather is not all 100% cotton. It's got some polyester in it and things like that. Anyway, let's dive into our size guides and our product listing. So the first way that we help you pick the right item, number one of two, is what? Clearly identifying that pizza shell. Clearly identifying what the blank item is.
Because it's also very specific, like different people have sensory issues. It depends on the fit, whether you can shrink it or not, whether you own something like those bases already, because a lot of them are pretty common.
Exactly.
It all goes into making that decision.
And so what we do is we tell you what the base item shirt is. So let's say it's a Bella Canvas 3001 or a Gildan 5000 or a Comfort Colors 1717 or a Champion shirt or whatever that blank is, we tell you. And the reason we tell you that, we're not trying to hide anything. We want you to be as aware a shopper as possible.
Of course.
Because
we want you to like your product.
Exactly. And if you already own one of those things, this is the first thing to look for. If you're shopping on our site, we don't use the same t-shirt for every single thing we sell. We take a lot of thought into Should we use this one? What cut? There's women's cut, there's traditional, they call them men's cuts, but really those are just a traditional boxy t-shirt.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of different kinds. Like you said, there's 100% cotton, there's blends.
Well, oversized is cute. It's nice and airy.
And one thing we don't do is use oversized shirts. It's actually interesting you brought that up. So if you want oversized, just oversize it. There are shirts, we've chosen not to use them, that sell oversized. But what we found is they create more confusion because you're trying to buy the oversized. Well, and what people ended up doing was, well, what does the oversize equal? Does that equal an extra large? Well, then just buy an extra.
Just oversize it yourself.
Oversize it yourself, exactly. So that's what we do, just for your general knowledge. That's why we don't have specific oversized t-shirts, which are made, but for that reason, we don't use them. But anyway, we tell you what that base item is so that if you know these shirts, then step one, if you know you like a small Bella Canvas 3001 because you have 3 of them already, boom, you're done.
Exactly.
Your sizing is done. Now, a lot of times there are labels like ours on the shirts and you won't know what the shirt is because the other site isn't as transparent as we are and they don't tell you what you're buying. We tell you so that you know these things because, again, we want you to shop the way we like to shop, which is full transparency.
Of course.
So the second way is using our size guide. Here's what you need to know about our size guide. For every single product we sell, the final image after the different shirts, or whatever it is, the final image is always the size guide. We put the base item on it, but the thing to know about the size guides is they are the shirt laid flat on the ground. So you're not measuring around your whole body, your waist, any of that stuff. It's laid flat. And the reason this is important is even if you don't know what the shirt you own is, everybody probably has a favorite t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, whatever it is, and they love the way it fits, or they like it and they wish it was a bit bigger. Whatever the case is, take your favorite shirt you own, lay it flat on the ground, and measure it in the same way that we're showing you in our size guide. Each size guide has little lines and measurements. Well,
it just makes it a lot easier on a general level because if you're trying to measure yourself, you might know your measurements, but this way you just take any shirt that you like. You can use any shirt in your closet. It doesn't have to be the specific one. Everybody has a shirt that they like how it fits, hopefully. So it's just simpler. Whereas, different size guides will be, technically it's these measurements, but it's like in between sizes, different things like that. This one, you have your shirt, you have the size guide, you can just line it up.
Exactly. So you take your shirt, lay it flat on the ground, pull out your tape measure ruler, whatever you have. It says 27 inches, let's say from armpit to armpit. You look at our shirt or whatever shirt it is you're trying to buy, which one is closest to that 27. You go a little bigger, you go a little smaller, you can oversize. It's going to give you a measurement for that shirt laid flat, which is really the best way to do it. That's how to use our size guide. If you don't know the brand and shirt already, then get your favorite shirt, lay it down, measure it, or whatever, swimwear, whatever you're buying, and you will get a size pretty darn close to what you have purchased. No surprises.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The brand doesn't really matter as long as the sizes line up. That's the benefit of it.
And the reason really that's really important for our shop in particular and many shops is that we follow this production on demand process. When we started this company, one thing that really struck me about so-called fast fashion is that companies that produce thousands of shirts in advance and hold stock in inventory end up oftentimes throwing this stuff away, right? You see horror stories of landfills filled with brand new shirts just thrown in the garbage.
Yeah, that's of course not what we want to do.
We do not do that at all. So we made the decision right up front to not stock inventory or anything like that. When you order it, we make it. So it's really custom made just for you.
Which means you also don't have to deal with, the fits loose, fits small, fits true to size, any of that. You know exactly the measurements of the product you're going to be receiving.
Exactly. We've noted in a couple of cases, like, for example, there's certain hoodies that are fit smaller. So I put that in there anyway. But if you're measuring as the size guide. You don't even have to worry
unless
about
your
that.
tape measure deceives you.
Yes. Now, if you confuse centimeters for inches, you're on your own. We always use inches, okay? We use inches.
Who uses centimeters in a size guide? I'm sorry.
Make sure you have an inch ruler. Now, and the reason we do this, because we produce custom for you, we have no returns, no exchanges policy, obviously, because we can't take things back. We can't resell items because they were produced just for you. Again, this is all over our website. We never want anyone to say, I didn't know that. So it's everywhere, even when you check out. But have no fear. You're doing the sizing the correct way. It's going to fit how you expect it to fit. The only time we run into issues that we will definitely honor is if something gets messed up in the production. Obviously, we're going to make sure that you get exactly what you ordered the right way.
Yeah, and now you might just have a special limited edition mix-up piece.
That's right. That's going to increase in value.
Yeah, and you can wear it when you paint.
Haven't had one of those yet, so knock on wood. We really tried quality control to ensure that you get exactly what you ordered. So there you have it. We really want you to know how to use the size guides. Take the time, get the right fit, because the worst thing that we never want to happen to you is you just order in a hurry and then you go, oh, this is way too small. Again, have never had that happen, knock on wood, but use the size guides or measure it up against a brand of that. You know, even if you own that shirt, I would still measure it on the size guide personally. Because who knows, what if that manufacturer changed their smalls or something over the years? I have seen people complain about that. I think it's just to do with the wash.
Yeah, but always double check is my recommendation whenever I buy clothes.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. That's how to use the size guides at 1923mainstreet.com. We hope that helps you. And check it out next time you're shopping. The last image is the one you want to go for. After you pick your color, of course. All right, everyone. Thanks as always for listening. Follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. We will see you again next week and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.